Hey guys, my name is Brianna and I'm really excited to do this 3K Q&A. We've hit 3,000 subscribers. In fact, I think we're like 3,300 right now, which is so cool because when I started my channel just about a year ago now, I was just doing it as a fun side hobby because my undergrad was broadcast journalism and my job at that point was not having anything to do with making videos or editing and all the fun stuff that I love doing on my channel. So it's just something I started doing for fun so that I could, participate in the YouTube community and mom life and all of these fun things. And it is so cool to now have this many folks out there, and you guys are the sweetest. I've said this before, but the comments you leave, the positivity, your thoughts, your prayers, all are so appreciated by me and really have touched me and just continue to motivate me to keep on making videos for you guys and doing this, and I enjoy it so much, so I hope you enjoy these videos as well. But this has been requested, another Q&A, also a life update. So this video is kind of three things in one. I wanted to thank you for the 3,000 subscribers. Thank you. Wanted to give you some answers to your questions and also give you some life updates. So enough of me babbling, blah, 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 blah. Let's get started. So let's get into some of the Q&A questions, and I feel like some might address some of the life updates, but I'll kind of save all of that for the end. So first question, how did you get your name? So my mom was listening to a Stevie Nicks song called Rhiannon, and she thought it was singing Brianna, and that is how she picked Brianna from my name. Where do you buy your clothes? So for the most part, I get my clothes from either Target or Limited, Express, Dillard's, and sometimes like a hodgepodge or just other places at the mall if I see something cute in like H&M's window or Forever 21 or something like that. But I would say for my casual clothes, I get a lot from either Victoria's Secret Sport if it's my more like leggings, t-shirts, and Target. I get a ton of my t-shirts, tank tops, even some of my like workout gear from Target. And then business clothes, it's majority Limited or Dillard's. So Limited is where I'll get some more of like the basics, like the pencil skirts and pants in just the neutral colors. But then Dillard's is where if I see a really cute floral print or stripes or just something that's more unique pieces, I really like Dillard's. And I also love Dillard's shoe line. So for a lot of my shoes, both kind of dressy, casual, or business shoes, I will shop at Dillard's. And I get a lot of just other basic shoes from Target too, because they actually usually have really cute boots and stuff. Where do you get your Disney shirts? So some folks, I think on my Instagram, if you're not following me on Instagram, it's @bitsofbrie, but I have some of our family photos from Disney on Instagram, from like our honeymoon and from some of our recent vacations, and I've gotten some custom shirts made. They're all from Etsy. And I'll actually put in the description box, sorry I didn't look it up before, it's just dawning on me now. I'll look up the actual name of the Etsy stores where I ordered the shirts and put them in the description box. Where do you get your Cleveland jewelry? So I think this is referring to the Ohio necklace that I sometimes wear that has the little heart on Cleveland. And that was a gift from my sister, and I know she ordered it on Etsy as well. Etsy is just where it's at, man. How long have you been married? So we got married in May of 2014. So I think that puts us right around 2.5 years of being married. And we knew each other, I think like 2.5 years before we got married, because we just had, in July was our 5-year dating anniversary. So Adam and I have known each other for 5 years, been married for 2.5. And what's kind of crazy is by the time we hit our 3-year wedding anniversary, we'll have had 2 kids, which is nuts. What's the one thing about Adam that annoys you? This is such a funny question. What about Adam annoys me? He can be kind of messy. Like I hate picking up after him, that drives me nuts. Probably that. I think if he wanted to make me like the happiest wife on the planet, he would like always have everything put away and like look really cleaned up and perfect so that I don't have to like stress about it and do it. That would make me like instantly satisfied. What were you like in high school? I would say I was sort of a chameleon, if that makes sense, because I feel like I just was a busy bee and like to be involved in a lot of different things. Like I wasn't one type. I wasn't an athlete and I wasn't a nerd. I was like both things, and I was also, involved in a lot. So by my senior year, I had run for student council president, and I was also editor of the school paper. I was doing stuff for a German club because I took German lessons when I was in high school. I was a cheerleader, I golfed, I ran track, so I was doing sports. And then I was also in a ton of the AP classes or the advanced classes or college prep classes. I was a total nerd. I still was obsessed with school. I got voted teacher's pet. So I feel like I did a lot of different things and just kind of had a really cool experience because I really did a little bit of everything. But one thing I would just say, like if you are either in high school or going into high school and watching this video, don't let anybody stop you from doing something you love to do. Like high school is really a time to explore and figure out what it is that you like, what it is that you're good at. So don't let anyone tell you that like, oh, being in AP classes means you're a nerd, so then you don't take any AP classes. Like, no, that's what's going to help you be successful in college and business and the rest of your life. So don't let anybody put a label on something and make it feel negative so that you don't explore that opportunity. Like explore as much as you can so you can figure out what you're good at and be really, really successful for the rest of your life. So this was another question I've got, and it's, do you miss teaching? Because I've said before I used to be a 7th grade English teacher. And the short answer to that is yes. I absolutely love teaching and I love my students and I miss all of them so much, but thank goodness for social media because I get to keep up with some of them on it still and sort of see what they're up to. Because believe it or not, they're now either in their first year of college or seniors in high school. So it's really cool to kind of see the adults and individuals that they've all grown into at this point. But yes, teaching is amazing. I would highly recommend if you are at all interested in going into the education profession. It is so rewarding and you will feel so good about what you do every day, but it is one of the hardest jobs on the planet, and I have so much respect to all of my teachers that I ever had and anyone out there who's a teacher. But yeah, I miss teaching every single day. Biggest regret in life? That's like really a hard question because I feel like if you change anything and if you're a Harry Potter fanatic like me, especially if you've just read the most recent play, like any little thing that you change throughout the course of your life could have a ripple effect in ways that you're not even aware of. So who knows, I could change something and then I never would have, ended up with Adam and had Landon and be pregnant with little two. It's just all of these things. So I can't say like there's something I would change, but I would just say biggest regret. I think now that I am a mom, I feel like someday I'm gonna look back and regret not spending more time with my family or, I try to see like my grandparents as much as I can, but time is limited and you could be gone tomorrow like that. So make sure you spend time and care about the ones that you love. So I feel like it's not like one instance. So sorry that I don't have a good answer for this question, but that's what I would say is just biggest regret would be any time that I didn't spend with my family that I should have. So the first big life update is we are pregnant with baby number 2. So Landon is getting a little brother or sister in May, which we are just so excited to see our family grow from 3 to 4. It's gonna be really, really exciting. Will you share the name of baby number 2? So I think once we settle on something, it's pretty likely that we will. I'm not the type of person that feels like I need to keep it a huge secret or something. Will you find out the gender of baby number 2? Yes, and I think it might change a little bit now that the due date got pushed back like 5 days, but I think early November is when we can find out the gender, so I'm really excited about that. How long was your maternity leave for Landon? And I think this is a really good question, especially with the election coming up, and I've heard so much lately about paid maternity leave and just how the United States is so behind all these other countries on this. And I was able, because of FMLA, so the Family Medical Leave Act, you can take 12 weeks, but there's all of these like kind of guidelines around that. So there has to be a certain number of people that work for your company, and you've had to work there for a certain amount of time to even be eligible for FMLA. And with that, you can get 12 weeks. Now, some states, Ohio does not have any legislation around this. Some states offer another 6 or 8 weeks beyond FMLA. But I was only able to use the 12 weeks of FMLA for my maternity leave with Landon, and I would not have gotten paid for it had I not had some really nice coworkers who actually donated days. So where I was employed, even though you could take the 12 weeks, you would not get paid for those 12 weeks unless some people donated days so that I still got paid while I was on sick leave, which was so nice, and I'm so grateful for that. And that's just where, you know, I do think the United States really needs to reevaluate this, because especially from a mother perspective, when you're nursing and around the clock having to feed your baby, if I had had to go back to work after 6 or 8 weeks, I can't tell you that I would have made it breastfeeding Landon for as long as we did, because even at that point, you're still like getting used to the schedule, and your baby's not sleeping through the night necessarily, and you're still feeding constantly. So I think it could have been really easy to give up and switch to formula and just a lot of things. So that is a huge issue, just the amount of time that a lot of companies even give. But then when it comes to the being paid for when you're on maternity leave, that is so huge, that you have a baby and another life that's depending on you, and then you're not going to make your salary to support your family during that time. I just feel like it's so wrong, and I really hope that, you know, we kind of reevaluate and take a look at all of these other countries that I read about that have 6 months or 12 months and a certain level of support or assistance, so that you can be being the best parent possible for your baby and spending bonding time that is so important in those critical early weeks with your baby. So yeah, moving on. Who are your favorite YouTubers? So really, I think the reason I even wanted to start my channel was I started watching Anna Sacconi's pregnancy updates when I was pregnant with my first baby, Landon. And at that point, she'd had Amelia and Eduardo. So I would literally watch like her week with, like if she was 6 weeks, I would watch the 6 weeks with Amelia, the 6 weeks with Eduardo, and then sort of compare those to my pregnancy to be like, okay, this is normal. And that was sort of what even inspired me of why I wanted to do YouTube, because I loved turning to real people, hearing what their experiences were. It just felt so much more personable than, you know, reading on an app what I should be feeling that week or experiencing that week. So I just loved then going off of the pregnancy videos, some of them the mom videos I started watching, and other channels too, of just tips and advice on how to, you know, get through breastfeeding the first year, or, you know, now I'm watching like potty training videos as I'm trying to prepare my son for all of that. So I just feel like that's why like Anna Sacconi is definitely my favorite YouTuber. Okay, here are some of the like questions and life updates now that I wanted to share with you guys. And this is one of the big questions of, are you a stay-at-home mom now, or who watches Landon while you work? So my Gigi is still watching Landon, usually anywhere from 2 to 3 days of the week. Landon's going to Gigi. But right now I have a little bit of time in between jobs, so I am getting to spend some time at home with Landon, which just makes me so happy that I'm getting this time with him, because when you're in an office from 8 to 5 and, you know, Landon goes to bed around 7 or 7:30 at night, like that's really hard to only see your baby for a little bit in the morning and a little bit in the evening. So I am relishing this time and loving it. And even though I'm sort of in between jobs right now, I'm technically still working, because I have had some work come in that is stuff I love to do. I'm party planning, and I have a bat mitzvah coming up, and it's so cool. Her name is Ruby, and it's gonna be Ruby Red Slipper Wizard of Oz themed. And it has just been so much fun. My husband's like, our entire basement is gold and red glitter, mostly red glitter. But there's like some gold accents, and he's like, is our basement ever going to not be sparkly? And I'm like, probably not, sorry. So still working though on sort of a small business level and doing something that I'm really fun and energetic around. this was another kind of life update question I wanted to answer, and it's, are you going to be moving or do you have to get a new house because of little two? And we have been actually house hunting for quite a while, just kind of seeing what's out there on the market, and if something that we want happened to come up, we wanted to kind of move and explore that option. But honestly, for the last year, there hasn't really been anything, and we can make our house work. And I think especially now, knowing when this baby is coming, that we kind of have to put a deadline, that if there isn't anything we find by January, we just don't think we'd be able to swing it, knowing the amount of time it takes to close on a house and then actually move and all of those pieces. So I think we'll keep looking and maybe we'll find something, but if we don't, we'll figure out a way to make our house work until there's the right time to move at that point. Okay, so there you have it. I think those are all of the questions I've gotten recently. If I skipped over a question, I might not have seen it in the comments or something like that, so I'm really sorry. Feel free to leave it in the comments here or direct message me on Instagram, or feel free to email me or something like that. My contact info is listed as well, and I will answer it in the next edition. But I hope this gives you a little bit of an update on everything that's going on for us, and please give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. See you in my next video. Bye guys.